What do you get when you add feminists and people who try to be edgy and a dash of Reddit? You get Kiwi Farms. To people who think that Kiwi Farms is a bastion of free speech, you are fucking idiots. These people try to destroy everything you see with the internet. You can't be anonymous in their eyes. Log cow culture used to have been fun, but they ruined it. Anytime I look at a log cow, I make sure that Kiwi Farms has not been touching it. Because whenever Kiwi Farms touches a log cow, and I'm talking about a proper log cow, not someone who's too mentally disabled or someone that is, just being forced to become a log cow because the Kiwi Farms deemed it. Because they think that they are the arbiters of what is funny and what is not funny. Their humor is very bland. I mean, the only thing they have that you can say is semi-funny is with the fat women. But even with that gets ruined because people try to do personal doxing and maybe even some swatting on the side. It's just not fun. Another thing is, when you go into threads, you realize there's no sense of humor. It's just walls of text, them trying to be intellectual, and it just comes off as pretentious. Just snobbery to the fullest extent. And this concept of freedom of speech, Kiwi Farms is notorious for banning you if they don't like what you say. And if you have anything connected to your account, to anything personal, they will dox you, and Noah will personally love to see it. He is known for that. Remember when Nick Rekieta had his house raided by the police, and one of the users was trying to get the body cam image of Nick Rekieta's home being raided by the cops? It turns out the user was a sex offender. And it makes sense why he wanted to see the kids. And people wonder, why are Kiwi Farms users like this? Well, it's because they are hypocrites to the fullest extent. They are snobby, hypocritical, either they're male simps like Noel, or they're radical feminists who hate men and use the site to dox people. They're just scum. They're scum to the fullest extent, and everyone knows it. Everybody knows that Kiwi Farms is a cancer onto the internet. When people were trying to defend them when the Drop Kiwi Farms campaign was going on, why would you? Why would you defend them? They don't believe in being anonymous on the internet. They would gladly dox every single person. I guarantee Noel and his users love what's going on the internet. Because Collective South and all those feminists who push Real ID onto Australia, to the UK, and even here to the United States, they love that. Because they don't like, quote-unquote, misogynists. They don't like men being anonymous on the internet. Kiwi Farms users are not afraid. You can look into Kiwi Farms users, and you can easily track them. Because they're mostly used by women, they're not good with OPSEC. So they're easily doxable. And you could be saying, well, why is that important? Because that's all Kiwi Farms is used for. A dark spin style website that pretends to be free speech. They don't care anything about free speech. They are a useful tool for governments to censor people. People like who use 4chan or the Shardy. They never cared about free speech. They hate free speech. They only like their speech. And especially Noel. Especially how we know all the shit with the block land and him trying to stalk a girl, or multiple girls, and trying to even call CPS on one of the girls, and trying to adopt the girl. Because he's a stalker and he's a predator. And many of these girls were underage and he was fully grown. He hates his mom. He said he wanted to kill his mom. He's into Neko Soda, which is cat boy style underage boys. He's a creep. And like all male feminists, he tries to hide it and try to pander to the worst type of people, the feminist. You remember back years ago when people used to really shit on feminists, and now for some reason the far right has embraced far right feminists? Because feminism is neither liberal or conservative. It's a mindset that's poisoned our society. Noel, and people like Noel, want to turn this into South Korea, where it's hyper-competitiveness, men are treated like dirt, people can't live, people can't be happy, and men and women are at each other's throat. They have a knife to the neck all the time. Just everything about them. And this is the state of men and women. And you got this chuckle fuck trying to pretend that he's caring about free speech as he hates all men in general, and he says he wanted to be a woman. Like, this dude, it's a definition of a lol cow. Everything about this dude screams he is Chris Chan levels of lol cowdom. And yet you can't criticize him on his own website. Like, this guy's a joke. When I was using Kiwi Farms, I thought maybe this site would be okay. And then I realized this shit's boring. Where's the humor? Like, I go on 4chan and Sardi because there's funny shit on there. There's no humor on Kiwi Farms. And you got this fucker who does one of the most stupid stuff you could think of. He gets a site hacked multiple times. People talk about the 4chan hack, the hack. You have this dude, he gets hacked so many times that even an autistic 12-year-old boy can hack his website. And then he says stupid shit, and then he goes after like VTubers, and then people point out his past, and then he tries to pretend, oh, I don't have any of this issue. You are pedos. You people are ditties. And he makes himself look like an ass. And people are just too afraid to call him out. And when people have the balls to actually go after him, he sticks his own fans to try to even swat people. Just recently, some one big VTuber got doxxed, and many people believe that the Kiwi Farms will try to swat her. They already sent pictures to her home. I think her name was Saba. It's one of those big VTubers. And they sent pizzas over to her home. Because Noel has, quote-unquote, made a fatwa, whatever that weird word is, a fatwa to the VTubers because he thinks everyone who's a VTuber are ditties, pedos. And he's just trying to hide the fact that he's one himself. And people assume that he's some bastion of free speech. He's getting his users to silence people. Anytime people who get a threat on them, they get harassed. And not in a fun way, not in a weird 4chan, oh, just go into their comments in a live stream, just say the N-word. Not like that kind of fun. Not funny shit. Just weird, vindictive shit. It makes sense because there's mostly women using it. And now we got this internet ID system that will come on every single website. And you know what? I guarantee if you ask Noel and the Kiwi Farms users what they think about this, they will cheer on. They love this. They love what's going on with the internet. They love every single bit of it. They love it. They goon to this. Because then they can milk, quote-unquote, log cows whenever they want. And because they're mostly women, they won't get in trouble for it. Women never get in trouble with shit they do. And now look at this. Do you see Noel talking about the situation with this shit? No, I guarantee if you go on there, I guarantee it's a big cheers, hurrah, hurrah. The quote-unquote kids are safe. These people are jokes. The user base of Kiwi Farms are jokes. And people who don't understand free speech are getting played like a fiddle. Our sense of internet will be gone, and you have to blame people like Kiwi Farms and Noel. He did this. He fucking did this. Everything about Noel is what you don't want in a moderator, a admin, and his website. It's a definition of what you should not have as a website. You know, he tried to make a humorous website because, well, I mean, he didn't make it, but people very, very misconstrued what Kiwi Farms was made for. It was originally made for Chris Chan, and it was technically not made by Noel. It was made by two other people, and they gave it to him because they couldn't stand it anymore, doing it anymore. And in between that, him owning Kiwi Farms, he owned 16chan. He did Chan boards as well, and he was notorious for letting pedos post their content on the website. And his solution? Send me that illegal content so I can make my own Google ID system. Even though there were multiple Google ID or Google fingerprint or whatever they call it, the one that you can detect like illegal material. Multiple types, and he could have used one of them. But he wanted to make his own fingerprint system. Doesn't that sound sus? And people blame him for destroying 8chan. Because he, with all his stupidity, couldn't run the site correctly. And to where it had pedo shit going on too. Same thing with 16chan. They both had pedo shit going on. And after Kiwi Farms, not Kiwi Farms, but 8chan got shut down, the owner of 8chan, Hot Wheels, who hired Noel to fit society, make it better, be a moderator and developer of 8chan, said, this dude conned me out tens of thousands of dollars. He didn't done anything. He was a shitty coder. And you can find Hot Wheels outright saying, yeah, he's a shitty coder. I should have never trusted this dude. He screwed me and others out. This dude is just scum. And many people, and this is why he goes after people like Ricada, because before Ricada, quote-unquote, became a law cow, he was friends with him, because he does this all the time. He goes after people he knows that people don't like, but he's buddy-buddy towards them. He always picks someone that he knows who they are personally. So if shit goes south, he can have his users to sick on them and go after them. Because Ricada, he doesn't hide his identity. We know who he is. We know his name. We know where he lives. Same thing with other people he was quote-unquote friends with. We know where they live. And whenever Noel burns a bridge, We know where they live, and people try to fuck with them. He does this on purpose. And people think that he's a bastion of free speech. No, he uses people. He always used people. He never cared about free speech, ever. He hates that, and everyone knows it. And now, we're seeing Kiwifarms starting to get turned on by other people, especially with VTubers. And you would think that other people would start to join in on the dog pile of Kiwifarms, and maybe, just maybe, people realize that this site was always shit, and No needs to get the fuck out of the internet and stay the fuck away, and shut his site down because it's a fucking cancer. I mean, by the way it looks with the internet now, because of his users and his culture of Kiwifarms, his site won't be around long either. Because if kosher pass, there's no way he can have his site being running. There's no way. It just won't happen. He will effectively lose his site. And that's because he's an idiot. He's a scumbag, and he doesn't care. He wanted this to happen because people made fun of him, and people pointed out the obvious, that the person who not even made Kiwifarms, that kept Kiwifarms afloat, was always a log cow himself. The guy that got one of his users, and yes, I'm going to say it, I don't care to say it, one of his users to make Chris Chan have sex with his mother. Yes, Isabel Jenke was a user of Kiwifarms. She was a user. He tried so hard, I remember at the beginning, and this is what really made me pissed off with No. He tried everything to not blame Isabel Jenke. He tried, what was that one guy's name? Gibby, to say that it was his fault. And then he tried to blame another person called Wildcat, who made like a documentary talking about, what was it, EGS and Christian. He made a lot of stuff about log cows and weirdos on the internet, and he doxed him. But then people who had so much proof that it was Isabel Valletta Jenke, he had to admit that, yeah, it was Isabel Jenke. And I guarantee she had a profile, and she had all this shit before this even happened. I guarantee some of the users on the Discord were Kiwifarms users as well. He did this. He knew what was going on. And now look at Chris Chan today. Being in prison, or in jail, and No cutting ties with him. His life is doing so much better. He's happy. He makes a shit ton of money. Way more than No. I bet No is seething about that, knowing that Chris Chan makes money with those medallions he makes. He's not on the internet like he used to be. He's probably getting better mentally. I guarantee his mental state is just far better. And he's much more happy. I think the last photo we seen of him, he lost a lot of weight. He's doing a lot better. And it's because Kiwifarms is not around him no more. Chris Chan is better off without Kiwifarms fucking with him. And not fuck with him, trying to pretend they're trying to be his guards. No. The guards of Kiwifarms made it worse, because it made the most sickest people to go after Chris Chan. And now we look at it. We look at everything that's gone on. The state of Kiwifarms, the state of the internet, the state of No, and everything we see now. Will Kiwifarms be destroyed once the kosher bill? Because the kosher bill is going to pass. It's going to pass. No and Kiwifarms will cheer because they know they'll be fine, because it's mostly women who use it. They don't have a problem with that. There's psycho bitches on there. They're literally psycho bitches. And No doesn't care. He lives in Siberia. He doesn't worry about it. He sells his data to the CCP and all those people. He doesn't have to do shit. He's made enough money. He's conned people. Like with Hot Wheels, out 10K or more, I think it was. And then he conned his users, trying to say he was going to sue that one company that was like hosting them. And there's still no lawsuit. Like it was 150K. And then he conned them again by trying to say, well, I'm going to get the footage from Nick Rekieta, going to show everything with the kids and all that, which is fucked up. Fucked up. And even people who did not like Rekieta said this is fucked up. We should not be trying to get, the footage, the cam footage, because it's fucked up. You don't want to see those kids in that state. Now look at everything. Just shit. Everything is shit. I'm just disappointed. I'm disappointed with Kiwifarms. I'm disappointed with the people who defend Kiwifarms. I'm disappointed in Medicare. If he's dead, that he would not poke fun at No. He's a pussy. He's everything that you would mock. And you were scared of him. Why the fuck are you scared of No? He's a bitch. He's a fucking pussy-footed bitch. I just wanted to make this video because it's just looking at all the people actually calling out No finally after years. And I've been saying this for years as well. but people are too afraid of him and his users. Like, why the fuck are you scared of Kiwifarms? When you really look into them, they're easy to mock. They're easy to make fun of. They're easy. They're not even good at tracking people. They're awful at it. Like, compared to 4chan and Kiwifarms, 4chan will just go in circles with them. They're jokes. They're fucking jokes. So, that's all I have with this. I just felt like talking about this. I just had a little bit of a rant. See ya.